I didn't move. You moved. We both moved.
Yeah. Oh, you mean you moved.
I moved, but like I moved. Welcome back, everybody. We are here, season 4.
Brushing the dust off these mics.
These mics, they got a little dusty. And not just because we took a break, we also moved. And I didn't move, you moved. We both moved.
Yeah. Oh, you mean you moved.
I moved, but like I moved to Dallas, but then I moved.
Yes. Yeah. Well, here we are. We're back. We've missed you guys. We've missed everybody, and I've missed being behind the mic. I know you have too. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like whenever we take these breaks for our seasons, it's just like so much life happens in between our episodes.
And we don't mean to. It just it just happens, and then here we are, and you're in a new house. I'm in a new house. We finally bought a house, found a house in Dallas. So we are like putting the roots down.
Awesome.
I mean, we were never going to go anywhere anyway.
But now you're like really not going to go. Yeah, you're really not going to go anywhere.
You've got me. You're stuck with me.
So how are you loving the fact that I remember when I saw you, I came to stay with you in DC. And that, like, I stayed in your house, and the space, like the space difference. I mean, do you get to Texas and you're just like, wow, this space is amazing. Are you loving it?
I love the space.
Good.
I don't like the driving, but I love the space.
Yeah, there's some trade-offs for sure when you're used to. I remember when you're like, okay, we need to look for neighborhoods so you can walk everywhere. And I was like, I don't think you do. Not like the neighborhoods you can usually walk everywhere in Dallas. It might not be the ones that you want to live in, Emily, but.
No, we're not really walking anywhere. I mean, like we're walking, but like not the way I was like had this like vision in my head that it basically I was going to be, DC, Emily, and Dallas and just like walking everywhere to get my coffee and all this stuff. Like I have to drive everywhere and I'm fine. I'm fine with it.
You've gotten used to it.
Yeah, it's part of it. But yeah. So yeah, we put roots down. We're not leaving.
Good.
We're loving the space, loving our house. And then you moved, got into a bigger house because you've got 2 little babies.
Yeah, we outgrew our place like real fast.
Yeah, sure.
We were like, okay, with my son, we're fine. We can handle this. And then, 17 months later, here comes my daughter. And we're like, wow, we are kind of on top of each other. And it would be nice. The biggest thing for us was a yard.
Yeah.
We wanted a place where the kids can grow up and play outside and just be able to run around and do all that. And so it was not easy because, Texas, the real estate boom just like hit all at one time when we were looking for a house and things were going left and right before they even got in the market, and they would have 20 bids on them, and we're like, are we ever going to find a spot, But luckily we did, and we got moved in earlier this year, 2023, and we're loving it. It's nice. Pretty much the same area, but we're loving it.
Yeah. And we have a new studio. We're in a new studio.
I was going to say, lots of newness going on around here.
I think it's good to start fresh.
I know. And I love this space. I mean, we love our studios. I love the whole look of it. I love the lighting. I love everything that you did with the artwork. I'm still looking at all of it going, I love this. It looks great.
I know. Yeah.
It's a good place to bring guests, which we've got a lot of really good guests lined up.
Yeah, we got a lot for this season.
Well, we sit and think. So don't think that we don't think about this show when we're on break, because we do.
We think about it and we talk about it all the time.
We count down the days until we are going to start recording. When are we going to launch it? What are we going to do? Who's going to come on the show? And this season we are really focused on, we have some access to really amazing people inside and outside of the industry, but really just people with great stories. And so a lot of them we have not been able to get in the past seasons, just schedules haven't lined up. They haven't really.
That's always the worst. We always have such great guests, but trying to get that schedule lined up, it's just I understand people are busy, but it's just sometimes we get so close and it's last minute, no, we can't do it. Okay.
Well, we've been really fortunate too, because a lot of our friends, a lot of people in the industry live in Dallas or come to Dallas for something, and we try to snatch them and get them on the show when they're here. And, we've got YWLS that's coming up. So when we're there, we've got a lineup. Hopefully everyone's schedules still remain the same. It's kind of a crapshoot when we go to YWLS. Everyone's here and there and running around, and they don't. Everyone's like, yes, I'll come on the show.
Well, because everyone wants to come on the show, and we want to have them on the show, but it's also YWLS. So it's there's also speakers that we want to see, and it's trying to juggle that. I want to interview, but somebody speaking, and I know they've got a good lineup of speakers this year, and I'm just like, I want to see some of these. So it's just like, maybe I can like hear somebody can record it for me, or I'll just like watch it after. Those are usually
quicker. They're faster episodes. They're just quick hits to get the people on that we want to get. Introduce our audience, introduce you guys to kind of what's going on.
Yeah, and YWS is fun in that way, and I think that's why I like getting people in and like talking to them for 15 minutes is just like, it's good because like it moves really fast. We've
been stressing about, so the whole theme for this year's YWS is 70s. And I have not been more stressed about
I know the text messages, the images of like trying to find like looks. I don't know.
Well, like, do we go like a costume and look like 70s is really hard. I've already done. I wasn't born in the 70s, but 70s were already coming back when I was in like junior high. So I did 70s back then. I did the bell bottoms, the platform shoes, the paisley dresses, the bell sleeves, the fringe, all of hair parted down the middle, like I've done it all. And so I feel like this generation, the girls are all going to YWS are like, this is going to be so fun because they haven't done it yet. They haven't lived through this yet.
Well, I feel like for like you and I, when we hear 70s or any kind of like decade type theme, like we go into like, okay, well, costume, like you do it up and like that's what you think, but it's like, well, not at YWS. Like that's like YWS in general is like straight up fashion show, no matter if there's a theme. So it's just like, well, we need to find that mix because I don't want to go like costume. I still want to look like chic and stylish, but like in that 70s era. And I'm like, I don't know what to do.
I know. I've been trying to
because I don't like
spend time looking, and I'm like, I don't know what to. I was thinking maybe for the influencer event, get dressed, throw on something that'll be 70s. But then when the other girls are like, no, it's like 70s the whole time. I'm like,
yeah, I think the most you're gonna get is like some flared jeans, bell bottom-esque thing from me. I'm not gonna go.
We'll still be cute. We'll still get to bring the fashion from YWLS, do a quick video of everybody and see what everyone has put together because, people are very creative.
Right. And I feel like that is like part of like the fun of YWS is like seeing what everyone's wearing.
Yep.
Because because it's not just like, it's women of all ages, but it's really targeted to young women. And these young girls that show up like are no joke. Like they bring it and it's just like, I'm like, I love that. I love that. I love that. Like,
yeah, it's my favorite event. Yeah. I love that
event.
It
is the best event that Turning Point puts together. Well, in our opinion, I'm sure they probably think, Amfest or one of their other ones is, but like, we love YWLS.
We love YWLS. Yes. So excited about that. I'm trying to think, what else has been going on with us since we last got behind these microphones?
Not too much. I mean, we've really been consumed with our move, like moving, unpacking, and like getting organized. I think that's the thing. It's like when you move into a house, like I need like life to stop because I want to like get my stuff organized. I want to get like unpacked and I want to start living. I hate the whole like living out of boxes. Even when we were renting, when we first moved here, there was still like, I hadn't unpacked all my shoes. Yeah. Like I still had boxes we had garage shelving in our master bedroom because we still had boxes that hadn't been unpacked. And it was just like, I was like, I need to turn everything off and I need to just focus on the house. And plus it was like the first house we bought here. So it was just like, I wanted to, spend time making it like a home.
Yep. We still haven't. I'm still not unpacked. I mean, I don't really know. I told my husband, I was like, okay, it is time to get like decor on the kids' walls. Yeah. It's time. Like it's been sitting in a box. We got to get it in, my son's room. We got to get stuff on we need to make this feel like our home. And then, right when you do that, then you're going to feel like you want to change everything again. And so there's still a few boxes in our own room. That's been the last.
We have those.
That's the last on the priority list is getting that roof done. But it was priority list was kitchen.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
kitchen.
Game room, and then sleeping arrangements for the kids and their room. Like as long as they've got that stuff, I feel like okay, we can start living in the home. And I did want to get their closets all organized and get their clothes out because they're changing so fast and growing so big. It's like okay, you only have this season for these clothes. If you wait, you'll never. Then you're going to be taking them, to the resale shop or donating them or whatever you're doing with your clothes, and then Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll just
that was
never
just,
get done.
It was like kitchen and like our master bedroom. I was like, I need to have that. Like, this is the first time, I kid you not, that we've had like a legit bed. Like when we lived in DC, we just had our mattresses like on a frame, like no headboard, like nothing nice. It was just, a bedroom with like a dresser. And like now I'm like, nope, I want like a nice bed. Like I want it to be like sanctuary. I don't want it to be a store, basically like a storage unit. Cause that's how, like, even in DC, like we were getting, those walls were shrinking pretty quick. And it was just like boxes here, just like clothes piling up here. And then especially when we were renting, it was just like I'm sick of like sleeping in a storage unit.
The thing about adding like two kids to that mix.
I'm like, I don't.
It's the stuff just piles up even more. I mean, it's insane. Drew was really excited because he now has a room to like get all of the guns and ammo everything completely stored away safely, but then get everything
have
organized.
It like organized where like if you need to go to the range, like I need this. Yeah. I think that's like, it's like the simplest things. And like just getting organized, and the 1,000 trips at Target and Container Store.
Oh yeah.
That was like, just here, take all my money. Like every day I got to go to Container Store. Either returning something or getting something. But like, I feel like, what did we do without Container Store? Before Container Store was like a thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't.
Where did people just like, where did people organize stuff? Maybe that wasn't.
Maybe people threw things away more.
And I feel like I'm very good about that.
Yeah.
Like I like to get rid of stuff and like purge stuff. And like, I don't like to have a lot of just like stuff unless like it's stuff that I'm using. Like before that, like even growing up, I'm trying to think, we didn't have a lot of like containers in our house, like things were like organized neatly in like these little, whatever, plastic, clear, transparent little bins, and like that just didn't exist.
Yeah, not that I remember. I mean, I remember having like a toy box for my toys, and
that was it.
There was like a game room closet. And I guess you put them in, but you just kind of put them in there.
But I feel like too, then I probably wasn't even really paying attention to that stuff because I didn't care.
Yeah,
like that was like, this is my parents.
I was big on organizing my closet, and I've always been that way. But then once I shared a closet with my husband, who is not big on organizing, I'm like, we need to have like a his or her closet. It's time. That is the one thing I wish we had in this house, Mike, because I love to have everything like pristine, color coded, all of that kind of stuff. And now I even like to have my hangers all aligned. Drives me nuts when I'm like out of a hanger and I have to go use a mismatched hanger. It just like
I do not do the mismatch hanger thing.
Yeah, but I've always been like that. I always at least had my closet, and also it helped me know, like when my little sister was like stealing my clothes. If I came in, there was an empty hanger, I would know exactly. I would know exactly what it was, and I'd go like on the hunt, like looking for it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think like with my closet, like having all my shoes out, and then like, I know this is so dumb, but like all my jeans are like hanging in one section. Before they were just like folded in dressers on piles. And I'm just like, after I got all my jeans organized, I was just like,
see, I thought we got you moved away from only wearing jeans.
No, you did, because my new problem is I'm overrun with Alexo, and I basically need like 2 huge deep dresser drawers to like organize all my Alexo.
I know, I have mine. I got like a whole new rack put in there because I used to have it all put together just because I didn't have a lot of closet space. Now I have like a whole new rack. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna now. This is like the Alexo part of our closet, and that's it. Like that's the only stuff that's going on there. Mm-hmm. Well, I started working. So Alexo joined a nonprofit group. Gosh, probably a couple of years ago. And I started helping them because I love the mission of the organization. And so I've been helping out with that. But I can't wear Alexo all day long. I mean, I could, but I'm not in athletic wear all day long.
We went up for lunch one day, and you showed up, and I was like, wow. What?
Why do you have on heels? You own heels? Like you own dresses?
I knew you own dresses, but like you were wearing stuff. I'm like, what happened to your Alexo?
Run the Runway though has been a lifesaver for me at helping out with this, because I don't have time to go shopping. Yeah. I don't like trying on clothes, and so I just get a membership with Run the Runway. And
it's so good because you can like just change out.
Oh, it's so nice. Clothes. You can change it out, and then I know exactly which designers fit my body type. Because I have some people that like have not had luck with Run the Runway, and I guess maybe it's just what I need it for with more business professional. But it has definitely got me thinking. It's so hard to carry my gun on my body when I'm wearing a dress. And like, I know everyone's like, well, just wear a thigh holster. Or just
it's not that simple.
I mean, I just haven't gotten comfortable with a thigh holster,
Right.
and I need to. Like, there's been a lot going on in Dallas.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm driving like to Dallas,
Yes.
which I don't want to make it sound like it's bad. Like, Dallas is one of the best cities in the world, but crime has gone up substantially in Dallas County and some of the places that I'm going. Like, I do not want to go down here without my firearm. And
Right.
here I am, like in a dress and high heels. Where am I supposed to carry this?
Right.
Where am I supposed to carry this gun? Like, it was just so much easier always wearing activewear.
Well, of course,
Always
with-
having a place to put it. And now I'm
Right.
like, I have to think about, I went back to like when I got started on this journey. I was like, I remember why I created Alexo now, because I now have to think about, okay, with this dress, what's the gun that's going to fit comfortably and not show
Like
in
all
this
the
type
things
of
that like
all the things.
enter your brain when you're entering that lifestyle and trying to think about concealed carry. You're just like, wait.
Yeah. And then you
it basically
realize
like changes your day. Like you really have to plan it out.
absolutely you have to plan it out, and you have to also think like, okay, I remember why women don't do this.
Why they just like,
Yeah. Or, yeah. If it's too complicated, the chances are they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna get involved. But since we last did this, I want to say like, had the shooting that just happened down the street from you when you went out to go
That
get
was-
that was after we stopped recording.
yes, that was after.
I mean, and when you called me, you're like, I was getting dinner and I heard this going on in the parking lot, like right next to me.
Yeah,
I'm like, you live in a really nice part of town.
I know.
This is what we keep saying. We're like,
It's just like the crime is up everywhere.
the crime is up, and people, this notion, this idea of being in a safe
I know, it
area,
doesn't
a
exist.
safe part of town. I mean, safety to me just,
Like you can have that perception of safety. Like, sure, like, do you feel like, is this a safer part of town? Or is this
Sure.
like, do I feel safer in this hotel or, whatever?
Yeah.
But there's still like that true reality of it's only as safe as what's happening. Like, sure, you can have
It's
a
safe
sense
until
of
it's not safe.
Right. Exactly.
until something happens, you're like, okay, I don't really feel safe anymore. Or could I have done something to maybe
Because I think
have...
that shooting was like straight carjacking. They wanted like somebody's like,
They did, but it was like it's 7 o'clock
Right,
at night
yes.
on a really busy night in a
Right. Mm-hmm.
really busy area. I'm just like, what were these kids thinking? The
Right.
guy, to my knowledge, I think the guy they were trying to carjack ended up being a concealed carry holder.
I think,
And
right. I get like there were so many different things that I read, but I think like he had fired at one of them because I think there was 3 people.
y'all, like broad daylight, because it was still light outside at this point.
Mm-hmm.
People are carjacking people in really nice areas in Dallas.
I know.
It's like blowing my mind. And, it's like, okay, this is just driving home this point that we're trying to make to everybody
Right.
that it doesn't matter where you think you're safe, how safe you think you are. The best that we can do is just kind of be prepared. And
I think like always just talking about it and sharing and saying, hey, be situationally aware. Like, be aware of your surroundings. Just be aware of what's happening and where you're at, because I think that's the most important thing.
I read an article yesterday about the Katy Trail's a big. Do you
my
run on the
gosh.
Katy Trail?
Run.
Do you take turbo on runs down on the Katy Trail?
Yes, we do our walks there sometimes.
Yes. And so it's like they said that this guy is being investigated because he's sexually assaulted multiple
Right.
women on the Katy Trail. I'm like,
I don't know how. And there was I think it was Katy Trail as well. There was like another dude who was like taking like photos of like women or something like that. And I believe it was either Katy Trail or over on White Rock. I can't remember, but I want to say it was Katy Trail. Because one was like that dude in like that backpack they shared that picture of. And then
okay.
one was like an older man, like with gray hair. And I was like,
I know.
Katy Trail is so freaking popular.
Populated all the
and
time.
populated all the time. Like the only time it's like, well, I would say sketchy is like when I've gone there like in the evening and it's like starting to get like dark, and then that's like less and less
Yeah,
people.
I would never go on the Katy Trail at nighttime or like before the sun comes up. Like never.
Yeah, I'm usually there
they're-
in the morning, like
Yeah.
early morning.
And yet it stinks because it's about to get really hot in
yeah.
Texas. And if you
yeah.
want to go on a run, you kind
have
of
to
need to do it
go-
before the sun gets
right.
up. Otherwise, it's really hot and it is really hard to get that work done. So I understand the rub. I understand the conundrum that people are in. And it's just, but in this area, like you just really have to
So
make sure that you're prepared.
When we were renting, and even in DC, I wasn't on like the Nextdoor app. Like it wasn't an app that like in DC, I didn't need it. And when I was renting, it just wasn't, I don't know. I didn't think about it. I don't even know why when we moved here, like I was like, oh, let me get on Nextdoor. Something like, I don't know, whatever. I was like, let me get on Nextdoor.
Are you glad you got on Nextdoor now?
No.
Or more like,
No.
oh man.
It's the worst. Like, don't get on that app. But like between Nextdoor and there's another app called, I believe it's called Citizens.
Yep.
Which like kind of like pinpoints like where things are like, I don't know if it's fed off police reports or like who's feeding the Citizens app, but it kind of tells you like if there's an accident or if, like where there's been activity of like certain, I don't want to say criminal activity because I know there's been accidents reported on Citizens app, but like it kind of like shows you like kind of like a
What's
GPS
happening
map
around the city.
Yeah, like different areas of like things that have been reported. So like I go on that a lot, and like when that shooting happened, I was like on there trying to figure out what was happening. And then like the Nextdoor app too, it's just like trying to read what people are saying. But like people, minus the poor animal situation of like everyone like trying to rehome their animals on Nextdoor, like that alone, I'm just like, can I filter those out? Because that just it kills me.
Oh,
But
well, if you see any needing to rehome an Italian Greyhound, please let me know.
I will let you know, of course.
Please let me know. Thank you.
But like within the app, you know, everyone's like either sharing like ring cams, like whatever their outdoor cams are showing, either people breaking in, you know, this suspicious guy. And like, you can just like get into the comments and I want to get in there and just be like, say all these things, but I'm like, it's just these people. I just, there's no need for me to didn't waste my time. But everyone is either like so naive or like you have the hardcore, it's like, this is why you need to carry a gun and this is you. And then,
oh, so there are some proponents of that already, like speaking that into the group.
Like,
okay.
But I'm like, well, in that situation, like a
wouldn't
gun,
have helped.
yeah, like I understand where you're coming from. But you also have to remember half the people that are posting this stuff are not like they sadly like we want to help you. Like you are the ones we want to help, but like you don't want to hear it. And it's just like everyone wants to think that they live in this like kumbaya, like safe area. And it's just like, well, we shouldn't have to, you know, live our lives in fear. And, you know, these people who are coming into our neighborhoods, I'm like, yes, but you don't want to accept the reality that this is happening. So you need to accept that. And you don't have to like completely think like the world is ending, but you need to accept that these kinds of things are happening. And what are you going to do to make sure that you are doing something for your own personal safety, the safety of your home, the safety of whoever's living there? Because like that app, like all the stuff that gets reported is just like, I'm like, I don't like, don't even read it. Like there are obviously like good things.
Now I want to go read it.
There are good things because it is. It's like, oh, this person in this neighborhood, keep a lookout. Like I appreciate like those kinds of things, but then there's just some, you know, people who are just on there and it's just like, this guy came to my house and then everyone just loads up in the comments and it's just like, but then like what's good is like, I'm like, oh, don't go to that shopping center because like there's like this guy who's like targeting people in that shopping center and it's just like, because what I've seen a lot of, I don't want to get off subject, but there's been like this car that goes to like a certain shopping center and like apparently people just leave their doors unlocked on their car doors unlocked. I don't understand it. So like people are just stealing, you know, it's like what happens at the gas station. Like you don't lock your door so someone comes in and just opens the door and steals your purse. But this is happening at grocery store, like one of the Whole Foods parking lots this is happening at.
People are leaving their purses in their car?
They're either leaving it in their car or like as they're loading their groceries, like it's still in their cart. So like this, you know, car creeps up, steals it. But like they are specifically looking for people who are being easy targets who are not paying attention. And I get it. Like at the grocery store, it's very hard. If you have kids and you're trying to juggle like all this stuff. But at the same time, it's just like, what small thing can you do? There's got to be something small that you can do, you know. But
I was thinking that the other day because I'm like, look, there's not every woman, and we know not everyone, not even everyone in this audience is like ready to carry a firearm with them all of the time.
Totally okay with that, but it's like we need to get you to the point of thinking of your safety in some.
Yeah,
firearms here. Let's start here.
Well, like all of us have a voice that we can use, or at least all of us can make ourselves a hard target and doing confidence projection. So at the very least, walking with your head held high, walking with your shoulders back, when we say keep your head on a swivel, it's like constantly looking around. If someone has bad intentions and they feel like you're looking at them and you see them, they're usually going to look the other
Yep.
way. And they're going to, go to the next one.
Eye contact is so powerful.
And I'm like, those are very easy things that even if you fake it, even if you are not feeling like you are that confident, fake it until you make it. Exactly. And somebody will, hopefully 9 times out of 10, pass you over, go to somebody that's a softer target, but then you have a tool as backup just in case that doesn't work. Right. And, that is a practical thing that every single one of us can do every single day, no matter what.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's like why we continue to talk about this and keep our message out.
Yeah.
And sorry, I was getting distracted there for a second because I think Turbo's making noises.
Well, who's Turbo? First off, we're sharing about the newest member of your family.
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of dogs,
I feel like I need to give like a little bit of backstory without boring like the entire world about like my love for French bulldogs. But like, I mean, if you don't know, I have wanted a French bulldog for ever. I was just say forever. Back in DC, like this is the dog that I wanted. We've always wanted 2 dogs, a French bulldog and a Doberman. Very different dogs, but that's been like our deal, like dog family.
Yeah.
We had cats for so long and sadly they passed away when we were in DC and I was pretty adamant at like no more pets. Like it was too hard to get past that.
I have to give a quick, just from an outsider's observing standpoint. So when she's actually like, she loves Frenchies. They must feel the love and the attraction because it doesn't matter where we go. You were like Snow White to the French dogs. They would come, or the French bulldogs, they would come from wherever and they would just find you no matter where we, I'm like, I could go, 7 months and not see a French bulldog. And if I'm with Emily, no matter what, no matter where we are, we would be in New York City and French bulldogs would come up to her. She would come visit me and she'd see 5 French bulldogs and they would come up to her no matter where they are. So yeah, it was meant to be. It was meant to be.
And so for those that don't know, French bulldogs tend to be predisposed with spinal disc issues. I knew that. I've done all my research. I knew this way before. I already knew like if I was going with a breeder, it was going to be a preservation breeder. I had breeders picked out. It was just when the time was right, it was going to be it. But going back to like the fact that they have degenerative disc issues, I've known this and like I've seen some in like wheelchairs and things like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I always said to Ben, if we ever came across one, I'd be open to adopting one because like we have so much love to give to these dogs and we just, animals are for us. Like children.
People probably don't know this about you. Like, y'all, Emily like donates to every animal ad. If you were an animal center collecting money, you just need to right now just send her all of your ads because she will donate to every animal cause out there. You are a huge animal lover and it shows how big your heart is too, that you're always wanting to help all these animals.
That's just the way it is. So we had been donating because for people who don't know, there's a huge feral cat community in Dallas. I didn't know this. And when we moved and when we were renting, I turned out to be my own cat mom and was like feeding the community cats. And it was just like the greatest thing. I was like, oh, I just got these cats that just come by and they relied on me. And then of course I was in tears when we moved because I'm like, who's going to feed these cats? Like, I think they're fine. But anyway, in all of this, like there's cats again that like need help. And I'm always donating to different cats because of whatever problems that they've had. Like I've heard stories like this one I was donating to got caught in a fence and it's like its arm was, so like I was donating. Yeah. So I donated to this cat and I was following, this cat's story and I was like, wait, I think it's going to be up for adoption. I'm like, let me check. And like we had moved. So like, okay, we have room if we want to get a pet. I think I'm ready for that. And like Ben wants a pet all the time. And I'm just like, no, I can't do it. Like it's too much on my heart if something happens. So we go looking for this cat and I was like, oh yeah, I think it's ready for adoption. And then we saw that it was ready for adoption. Then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, well, let's go see if we can go visit it. And so I went to like their website, saw the cat was not there. I'm like, oh, must have been adopted. Oh, well, good for that cat. And I was like, what other pets do they have on this website?
And you went down the rabbit hole.
And I was just like, oh, they have dogs? And they had like a drop down. And I'm like, let me select French Bulldog. And this French Bulldog shows up, a photo of him in his wheelies. And I was like, Ben, you're not going to believe this. You've got to see this. And he's like, huh? And I'm like reading his whole story. And I'm like, okay, so his original owner surrendered him. He fell down the stairs or something happened. He's been in this foster for a year and a half. And they were very specific. They're like, he needs help going to the bathroom. He doesn't have control of his bladder. And I'm just like, oh, all those times when I was like thinking about, adopting a French bulldog that was in need, I didn't actually think about the bladder problem, but okay, whatever. So I'm like, Ben's like, wait. We need to like do some research on this before we even go down this rabbit hole of adopting this dog. I'm like, okay. It's like, we're watching like tons of YouTube videos. I'm like, oh, okay. That's not that bad, whatever. And then so I reach out to the rescue. I'm like, hey, can I meet this dog? They're like, sure. So we set up a meeting. It was like a Saturday.
Like speed dating or?
They were doing an adoption event, but he was not going to be there. Because they had just had him there like the week before.
Okay.
So they're like, but we can bring him if you're going to come, but we want you to fill out the adoption papers to make sure you're like serious. I'm like, yeah, sure. But I had like a huge list of all these questions.
Yeah.
Which I think was good too, because like we wanted to make sure that we fully understood what you're getting into. Sure. It's just not like a normal dog. And so we go to meet him, and of course I'm just like, okay, let's do this. Let's adopt this dog. And let me tell you, that first week we were like, maybe we shouldn't have done this. It was a lot more than we had thought. And it wasn't that it was because of like his bladder issues. It was just like, he's 3.5, but it was just like a lot more work just in general, was like taking him out. And like, we knew getting a dog would be this much work, but we're just like, we're up early, we're this, we're that. And we're just like, okay. And after the first week of just like us, everyone kind of getting adjusted into like the routine, like everything was fine. And Turbo, his name is Turbo. And everything is like the greatest thing.
Well, I have to say, for anyone that knows you, knows that this dog literally just like found the pot of gold with you guys, because it is going to be the most spoiled, most loved, taken care of dog I've ever seen in my life. I mean, when I call and you're like, just took Turbo to his therapy session.
Yeah, so he goes to physical therapy for his legs.
Like weekly.
Twice a week,
yes, for his laser therapy.
He does laser therapy, acupuncture, and water therapy.
This dog drinks better water than I do. I mean, Emily brings special bottled water to my house in her special bowl for this dog. The booties, talk about the feet really fast. I just have to, like, you have to tell them what you do for this dog for his feet after y'all go on runs. Because my jaw, every time she tells us, I'm like, my kids aren't even treated this great. And now I feel like a horrible mother.
Let's see. So he does wear booties because his feet drags in his cart, but that's what we're working on to try to get movement. And he is getting movement slowly. His back legs, his hind legs. But after his walks, like I clean them off. I like put this like sanitizing gel on his feet. Cause like, he's going to be in our house.
He's sitting there like massaging it, and Turbo just...
He's not that. He's a little more just like
massaging his feet.
He has a little bit more of the like, can we get this over with attitude? But he sits there and he takes it. And then I put like his like creams on, because it's just like, I feel,
Kid dog can't have calloused feet.
No.
What did dogs do before there were Emilys in the world that could take care of their calluses for them?
Where his hind legs have been like balded from like dragging, like hair is growing back there, because like the physical therapy is kind of helping. So he's like dragging a little bit differently when he's not in his cart. Okay. And I 100% believe it's the creams that I'm putting on his feet. So
you know what? I think that this dog is the luckiest dog on the face of this planet. I've always said, like, any dog that gets to be in your house and taken care of by you is just the luckiest dog in the world. So I'm so happy for y'all, because I feel like your little family's complete.
It is.
It is.
He's a handful.
But maybe I need your Doberman too, but...
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we keep saying that,
he takes up like...
a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. And like,
And y'all were so used to traveling.
Yeah.
A lot.
So we traveled. So when we got him, we had already bought plane tickets to go to Florida for my niece's graduation. And we're just like, huh, okay, yeah, we can fly with him. We can fly with him. But he's like stocky because like he's had to use like his muscles to help get him around. And then I just got more into like more worried about him flying and just like controlling, we have him on a routine. So like we can get him to the bathroom before and all that stuff.
Like
but it
all
was
the
just
things
like
that actual parents think of too about like their own children and why
and so,
I don't fly with my kids right now.
It was just like, well, what if we get like stuck on the plane? Like, remember when we got stuck on the plane for like 3 hours on the tarmac?
Yeah.
I'm like, what if that happens with him? Like, I'm sure he'll be fine, but I'm just like, I don't know. So then we, canceled our flight and drove 18 hours to Florida.
The things you do for your children.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, but yeah, he's awesome. And we love him. Everyone loves him. Let me just tell you something.
Well, I can't wait for Turbo to like have his own Instagram page because I think everybody is waiting for this Instagram page because let me tell you, it is going to be.
I actually have to get a new phone that is larger capacity because I'm running out of space because of the amount of videos and photos I've taken of this dog.
Of course.
But like, let me tell you with this dog, if you also know Frenchie's became like the number one dog, what AKC named the number one dog. Oh. And they beat like the Labrador, who I believe is on that list for 12 years.
That would not surprise me.
And so prior to this, people probably heard about like Lady Gaga's French Bulldogs being stolen. So Frenchies have always been like, especially in the last few years, a high target. People have been stealing them. Like people are walking them and they steal their dog. And so of course, like typically Ben and I will always walk them together, just like safety numbers. But if I do walk them by myself, like both of us are always carrying our firearm. Yeah. Like I carry my firearm. I'm pretty certain no one wants to steal a dog in a wheelchair. But let me tell you, we've had people pull up next to us, like creepy, roll down their window, like, oh, that dog's real cute. And I'm like, license plate number of my car. I'm like, okay. Like the amount of people I have had to speak to while walking Turbo, like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
I didn't know that it was going to be a magnet for conversation from strangers. That's like your worst nightmare, Emily. Like people you don't know, like coming up into your personal space.
I'm like, they're like, can I take a photo of your dog? And I'm like, no. Yeah. And like, I keep telling Ben, I'm like, even though it's not this bad, if we have strangers, like, not like people with kids, but like ones that like kind of like just seem like weird, we need to emphasize that while he looks cute in his cart, he shits everywhere. Even though that doesn't happen, we just need to tell people that because that will prevent them from wanting to steal our dog.
There you go.
I'm just like, because I don't want any, like, I don't know who would steal him, but everyone's like, oh, he's so cute. I'm like, yeah, but no, you don't want to deal with that.
Oh, that's
like we can't control when he goes to he just goes everywhere.
He just goes everywhere. I know he's so cute.
I know,
goodness.
but
Oh, well, I love him. He is the sweetest thing. And, since my dog passed away and I was like in February, if any of you know of any place looking to rehome their Italian Greyhound, we're obsessed with Italian Greyhounds.
I'm going to keep an eye out on next door.
Like there are so many scam breeders out there. So number one thing, if they won't video call with you, just go ahead and don't talk to them anymore. Like that's a number one like red flag.
Well, I think that's happening too, and it's like what I was saying about like French Bulldogs, like and Lady Gaga's being stolen. It's like people were stealing so many because they were
and then reselling them. What were you doing with them?
They became so popular that breeders, like backyard breeders, and these breeders who were not preservation breeders trying to keep the breed intact, we're breeding them and selling them for like $5,000, $10,000. So of course, like everyone's like, oh, that's a high ticket dog. I see a puppy, I'm going to steal it. And so, going back to Nextdoor and things I've seen on Nextdoor, there was a lady in, I want to say it was like Uptown. She was walking her 10-year-old French Bulldog and she just got a puppy. This guy pulled up, used his child to go up to the lady and like, oh, can I pet your dog? And by like some like sleight of hand, got the collar off the puppy, took off running with the puppy to the kid to the car that was like the getaway car. And she just like, she said that she like picked up her dog and just started screaming, going after her. And she got her dog back, luckily. But like, that's how crazy people are about French bulldogs right
my
now.
Goodness.
And so anytime a dog, it's not just a French bulldog, but these dogs become like super popular. Like this is the kind of stuff that happens because one, if you want one that's going to be, bred well, you've got to pay the money. And people want to make quick cash and be like, oh, I've got this dog. It's $5,000. It's just crazy.
Well,
but that's why you
say
have
this
to,
all the time. Like there's people, criminals just don't think like normal people. They think on just a totally different level.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you want to get a dog, and it's like, oh, here's some photos, but I'm not going to FaceTime you or show you anything. It's like, hello.
Just don't.
Do not exchange any money.
Don't ever exchange any money unless you can go physically see the dog.
Right.
And Italian Greyhounds are they're not like a super popular breed. They're a rare breed, and so it's hard to. There's not a ton in our area that we could just go physically see them. Right. But even then, even then, they can fake documents on if they're reputable breeders. Like it's just hard. I would rather adopt one that like a family may just not be able to take. We love older Aggies too. Like it's okay. It can be a puppy. It can be older. I don't care. Other than the fact that like I don't want to know like they're going to die soon.
Well, right. All right. So we're heading to YWS this weekend.
Yes.
So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for season 4, which has started. We're going to have lots of great guests, like we said, and we're so looking forward to sharing all that with you. Follow us on Instagram at Not Your Average Young Girl. Subscribe to us on YouTube because all of this is going to be available on our YouTube channel. And of course,
we're going to bribe you with pictures of Turbo. If you,
yes.
You can see them if you go follow us on YouTube.
And then also leave us a review, 5-star review on Apple or wherever you listen to podcasts, because that truly is such a simple and easy way for you to support the show and help get us ranked up in the ratings to help make sure that more and more people see it so we can continue to bring you more and more episodes. So
thank you guys. All right. Can't wait to be back. Yep.
Not Your Average Gun Girl Show and its related companies, Alexo Athletica LLC and Stami Tactical LLC, shares information that may potentially have legal implications for its listeners. A reminder that laws vary for each state, and we encourage listeners to seek local legal advice to understand applicable laws. Any items, services, products, and advice mentioned during the Not Your Average Gun Girl Show should be used at your own discretion in accordance with your local and state laws, and you should follow applicable manufacturer's instructions. Not Your Average Gun Girls, Alexo Athletica LLC, and Stami Tactical LLC cannot be held liable for your actions based on the information shared.